There has been a recent trend as of a few years. I think 2020 is when this first started, and it's mainly younger YouTubers. What's the generation beyond millennial? I think that one. Yeah, and it's just reminding you to be hydrated. When have you ever, in however many years of living, had someone remind you to do the most basic of tasks? It's no slight against anyone who does this. It's just, I find it odd, the trend in general. You know, hey, remember to stay hydrated. Thank you for this profound knowledge. Maybe you'll remind me to open my eyelids whenever I wake up in the morning next. Oh, hi there. My name's Jorge. I grew up in the 80s and I used to love getting into trouble. I have always been a friend of felines. I take my faith very seriously, attending college at a Christian school, and I've been a music fan my entire life, only recently discovering I like extreme metal, and I want to invite you to journey with me on my discovery of extreme metal. What is up, folks? Welcome back to A Christian Collects Death Metal. It's your pal Jorge here, back at you with another video. Thanks for stopping by once again. Welcome back. I just want to thank everybody for the recent swell of support. I never thought the channel would get past 10 subscribers. We have surpassed 200. So, yeah, for a little guy like me, super cool, super grateful, super thankful. And I got to thinking, you know what? When and if we get to 1,000, I'll do a giveaway. Yeah, I have some stuff already set back just for that. So yeah, if we hit 1,000, we'll do a blowout giveaway for sure. Collection update number 2. I like these. This is more laid back. You can see I'm in a different setting, just chilling in my living room. I have some really cool recent pickups. I'm going to go ahead and start out with a big one, and that is the debut from Corpus Offal. I always want to say Corpus Offal. Yeah. It's a great album. I didn't really know anything about this band, if I'm being honest, and I never really listened to Cerebral Rot. For those who don't know, yeah, this is basically Cerebral Rot part 2. You could say, I don't know why that Cerebral Rot broke up. Like I said, my familiarity with these bands, almost non-existent, but I've seen them around, especially Cerebral Rot. I've seen them around. So yeah, they released a demo in 2024, $20 spin. It's a great album. I've listened to it probably 7 or 8 times. I usually try to listen to an album 10 to 15 times just to get a feel, because on subsequent listens you'll pick up on stuff that I feel like I might feel the need to mention or bring up something that yeah, I picked up. But so anyway, from my first few cursory listens, it sounds great. In my own words, I can only describe it as mid-paced death metal. It's down-tuned, super low, super low, down-tuned stuff that kind of ramps up here and there, but it never goes totally off the rails. No real crazy, not a lot of craziness, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's a great listen. It's super enjoyable, and what it reminds me of more than anything, by a long shot, is Adrian down in Mexico with Stenched. It sounds almost identical to this, but after discovering Cerebral Rot and listening to quite a bit of their stuff, I think that it's safe to say that Stenched sounds more like Cerebral Rot. So anyway, it's a very specific sound that these guys do that's very hard for me to explain, but it's like the guitar is almost like synth-like in parts, like it's very odd. It's very unique to just a handful of bands. Stenched, these guys, Cerebral Rot, maybe some old school fetid, sorta, but not really. But some of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a very specific, unique sound. Like I said, I don't normally hear this type of sound. When I first heard Stench, that was my introduction to that type of sound. Those unique little flourishes that they do in this super down-tuned material. It's a great listen. Both the songs off the demo also on here. It's a great album. Next band, up and coming, is one that I am super, super excited about. All they have is this demo. Maybe it's an EP. I'm not really sure. I don't think they say. It's 4 songs. I assume probably an EP, totaling about 13 minutes, from Head Split Records, Pus Emulsion. This came out a while back. This came out last year, I think. So I'm just now getting around to getting this. In Soaking Cerebral Torment. A 3-piece band out of California. Like I said, Head Split Records. This sounds very similar to Mephitic Corpse. Head Split, the gentleman over there, sent me the most recent zine, which has an interview with these guys in it. I mentioned it in my previous video with the battle patches and what have you. I love the sound of Mephitic Corpse so much. And, you know, Death Grind, it's a dime a dozen. But it's something in their approach. I guess what they call California death metal. But it really is, in my opinion, death grind. And these guys sort of sound is very adjacent to that. It is so good. It's some of the best 13 minutes you could spend sitting down and listening to this. Pus Emulsion, In Soaking Cerebral Torment. Chef's kiss. Next up, hailing from Transylvanian Recordings, we have Tentacult with their sophomore album, Untamed Revulsion. I originally heard about these guys early on, super early on in my death metal journey, right when I was getting into it. And it was due to James sending me a DIY word search that I featured on my last video. By the way, my battle jacket video also talked about merch and these DIY labels sending stuff. And I remember at the time just being perplexed, and then I realized after putting, 2 and 2 together that, oh, these are obviously bands that are on the label. And I remember going through each and every one of them, looking them up, and there were so many standouts. But one of them that really stuck with me was Tentacult with their debut Lacerating Patterns, and I just love that sound so much. This is one of the most peculiar, odd, and super enjoyable albums, and I don't even know if I know the right words to explain it. This is, I think, death metal at its core, but there are parts of this that sounds like black thrash. There are parts that sound like heavy metal with a death metal element. It's incredibly strange, and you think it might be all over the place, but it really works. They have a way of keeping everything cohesive together, and it's just such a unique sound. And I don't even know that experimental is the right word for it. That's almost like I don't know. When I see that word, I'm like, oh boy, well, what do we got here? These guys are super interesting. I mean, just the almost ballad-like sort of acoustic. I never know the right way to explain that sound. It's not something you normally hear in death metal. In some undergang albums, things sort of slow down, and they do that like ballad-type acoustic sort of stuff. Not really. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you'll get a lot of that on this album. It just feels like heavy metal with a death metal element. And yeah, also some black thrash. That's just what I'm picking up on. It's so enjoyable. It's such a unique release so far this year. Super standout. Sophomore album from Tentacult, Untamed Revulsion. definitely check this one out for sure. Another release from Transylvanian Recordings, we have the debut album from black metal outfit Niveus with Endless Snowfall. This consists of members from Outer Graves, also of Transylvanian Recordings. This, if you check out anything on this list, make sure it's this one right here. This is produced by Art Risk, famous producer of Spectral Voice, Blood Incantation, Pissgrave. Yeah, produced this as well. This is black metal that is a very high grade of production, but has so much of that old, like, sort of Bathory, like the Sign of the Mark or whatever. I'm not the biggest Bathory fan, so give me some grace. But some of those real early black metal riffage, you know, it's kind of what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like normal black metal that I would typically listen to, but it is incredibly. These guys definitely know what they're doing. A 3-piece, I believe. I don't know a lot about them. We may do a separate video just on this as well. It consists of 4 songs, but man, this feels like a very heavy helping of just black metal goodness. It like I said, it is just impeccable. It sounds like a lot of that early stuff, except refined, and that's okay. I like black metal to sound good, right? There could be a raw aspect to it, but I like to be able to pick up on the separation, the instruments. I like dynamics, what have you. I like some of that raw stuff too, don't get me wrong. But man, Arthur, whatever, has really done it justice as far as just bringing out what it is that these guys are bringing to the table. Just an incredible listen. Endless Snowfall by Niveus, for sure. Look this one up. I didn't know anything about this band until Mephitic Corpse. Because of them, I now know about one of the greatest early death metal. You can't even say proto-death doom, because I think this is early death doom. Immortal Fate, beautiful. Extremely Rotten is doing up some new pressings of this. That's not what I have. I have, I think, a 2023 625 Thrash reissue. That's the one I have. So, this is absolutely incredible. This sounds like, there are parts of this that sound like Spectral Voice. I now know some of the influence of Spectral Voice now. After hearing this from 1993, without question, Immortal Fate has to be an influence of Spectral Voice. I mean, I think without question. Yeah, I mean, super slowed down. It sounds like Be Cadaver at parts, and then it just goes completely bananas. I mean, 0 to 60, I mean, just like that. Super slow and dread-filled, doomy, and then all of a sudden, you're just getting your wig split, completely blown back. I mean, I think of that guy sitting in the chair, and there's that, what is it, from Jackass 2, Ryan Dunn, sitting in that chair with the jet engine in front of him, and he's just being blown away, basically. What an incredible album. This is the only full length they ever did. I'm pretty sure. I think they had some EPs and some, maybe a compilation at one point. Don't know a lot about them, but like I said, after listening to Mephitic Corpse and one of the gentlemen in the band, it's on Mephitic Corpse Painless, on side B. He's this gentleman, one of them, is talking to Matt about sending him a shirt, whatever. He's sitting around drinking vodka and beer or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I got a shirt, I'm going to send it to you. Yeah, and that's basically it. And a lot of people have criticized that part on the Mephitic Corpse album, saying, wow, it kind of breaks up the vibe. And I think it just really fits with that album because it just shows, you know, these guys, they're having fun, they're out there, they're just, you know, not taking themselves too seriously. A lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff. The serious part that what they do take seriously, what I'm trying to say, is the instrumentation, the music, the impeccable nature of the death grind on display. Absolutely. Yeah, it just shows that these guys they're having fun. I mean, and on the B side, the label on the actual record itself, it shows a picture of Mass Cremation, Andre there. Just these guys are having fun, man. And I think that little bit in the middle of the album really does something to for that album. Anyway, Immortal Fate, beautiful, great stuff, classic. I know now, a classic. So there you have it. All right, guys, there you have it. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you spending the time subscribing, commenting, liking. Let me know in the comments exactly what you think. Let me know some recent finds, some albums that you guys picked up. Super curious to hear. Jorge, a Christian who collects death metal, signing off. Be blessed. And remember, yeah, stay hydrated.